Hey gang, so I am inking near the end of issue 2 of Galaxy of Madness. These are my pencils here. I don't want to give away too much. I'm just going to try and keep it focused on this little section. My pencils are typically, I flatten them out, but you can kind of see if you look close here, there's a very light, super light pencil lines under there. Then I'll create another layer and just tighten it up. This is about as tight as I need to go, and from here I'll just go right into inks. Sometimes I'll sketch out a background. I have a model built for the ship that they're in, so I'm going to use my Google SketchUp afterwards. We'll do like a video on that as well. But for now, I'll just take you through some inking. If you hear any weird sounds in the background, it's my dog. He's a snorer, little Fry. So as you can see, like I'm just using the pencil sketch very loosely. I mean, the shape of her face that I just drew with this, with the brush, is slightly different. Like all of this is just foundational. All this, the pencil, but the real finishes for me always happens in the inks, especially digitally, because it's just easy to fix things. It's easy to just take a chance and throw down a line, and if it doesn't work, you just go back. Or sometimes if I'll ink a face that I know isn't great, I'll leave it so I can move on, knowing that, well, if I don't have time and I can't fix it, it wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't great. It wasn't a great face, and that's okay for the sake of time. But typically, I will have time to look at it like the next day or a little later that night or something with fresh eyes, and then rework it. The point is just to keep the momentum going, Like if I in the old days, I used to struggle with, say, a particular face. And I still struggle with faces and stuff, but I mean, it's, this mouth is a good example. I'm not super happy with that. I'm just going to leave it so I can move on. Like, just got to keep that momentum of moving forward. In the old days, I would just spend forever trying to fix this and then do a layer of white out and then try and fix that, and, it becomes a whole thing. I'm very much about meeting my deadlines and getting the work done. So it's a balancing act of, efficiency and speed. Gotta get the work done, gotta make the donuts. This character is really fun to draw. She's a little bit older, a little bit heavier. Kind of like you see, you get a lot of the sort of male drunken warrior trope, which is fun, and we love it, right? This is a nice spin off of this. She's not quite a drunk, but, she's sort of a fighter and a drinker, spiritualist, all wrapped up in one. Very Kurosawa-like. Well, some of the characters, anyway. I have my stabilizer on. I'm working in Clip Studio. One of the features is this kind of stabilizer thing that helps you keep your line smooth. I use it typically because it just gives me more control. No matter how much experience I have on this kind of, on my iPad or working digitally, there's just a huge difference. No matter what filters, I put like a little plastic screen on this and stuff to give it some texture. It's just not the same. So I find using the stabilizer tool, it helps out. Also, it changes the actual quality of the line a little bit. Kind of hard to explain, but there you go. I really like Clip Studio. I'm working like 50-50 digitally and analog. Some pages I'm drawing completely analog, others digitally, some both. Even the pencil line you saw here was penciling that I did loosely on just photocopy paper. So this is kind of the first pass that I do, is I call it the coloring book look. So I'm not really spotting the black. Well, I did a little bit up here. It's mostly just getting the outlines, the basic inks down, like the basic outlines of the figures and all that. Then I keep moving forward because, again, it's for me, I have to move forward and keep the book going to, quote, finish the page. Then I go back and I fill in details. And in this particular style, it's not heavily detailed, so I actually spend a lot of mental time figuring out what not to draw and how to keep it simple. So just a little look into my inking process and how and why I do certain things. It's mostly for speed, efficiency, the idea of moving forward, always keep the pages moving forward and going forward. That feels good psychologically to work that way. And there you go. So that's sort of the little sort of first pass, and then I'll go in here and I'll fill in black and find some more of my shapes and stuff like that. And even just drop a bucket randomly to see, oh, how would that look if it's totally in black? And then maybe I'll do that on another layer so that I can take off the parts that don't work and keep the parts that do. Anyway, that's it. Thanks much.